What up, y'all? Sports Mix, Big Kenny checking in. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Sports Mix Podcast. Saturday morning, 3 rounds of the NFL draft completed. Y'all already know what it is. Big story. Shadeur Sanders hasn't been picked yet. That's what kind of the talk of the town is. It's looking like some collusion from where I sit, you know what I'm saying, on the NFL's part, man. They kind of trying to send a message, I guess, Shadeur, the Sanders family. Dion has always been loud, arrogant, brash, in your face, but he backed it up, you know what I'm saying? So Shadeur had a solid college season, won multiple awards last year. 4 years, he played 2 years Jackson State, 2 years at Colorado. And what the thing I laugh at, man, is people talk about, well, he didn't win against this team, or he didn't do this against that team. And we tend to forget, man, people evaluate players based off of their individual skills and not so much the win and loss record of a lot of quarterbacks in college. So who he won and lost against really is irrelevant, in my opinion. Is really, man, what the film show about. Can you make the throws? Can he do this? Can he do that? You know what I'm saying? So nobody in anything pre-draft had him as a second or third day draft pick. He was always considered a first day draft pick from just about every publication and talking head that you heard. He was a first day guy, and at the least a second round pick. You know what I'm saying? So for him to drop below the third round at this point, it just says a lot about really what's going on. This is bigger than just teams looking at him and saying, well, he's not really talented enough. That's some nonsense. Brash and cocky. We've seen this before, just in a few years ago with Baker Mayfield and Johnny Manziel, both very high draft picks, both arrogant, cocky guys, man. That didn't stop an NFL team from taking the opportunity, taking a chance on those guys and giving them an opportunity. We've seen a former NFL player who was a dad and his son was a top pick, kind of manipulate and use his influence to have a team not choose his son, and Eli Manning, where the Chargers had the opportunity to take Eli, and Archie Manning stepped in and said, compete respectfully, don't draft my son, and he ended up going to the Giants. Back in the day, John Elway, who said that he played baseball if the Baltimore coach drafted him. The coach drafted him anyway, and then, he ended up being traded to the Denver Broncos, so he never played a down of football in Baltimore. So brash, cocky, arrogant, kind of saying what you will or won't do. It's not the first time that it's happened. Remember a few years ago, back in the 80s, when you had the option, to go to the USFL versus the NFL coming out, and you had guys like Jim Kelly, Herschel Walker, who were top college guys, opted to go to the USFL. Steve Young, those guys were high level college players who opted to go to the USFL versus the NFL coming out of college. So this stuff is not unprecedented, man. Just having opportunities to kind of wield your power and have some influence over where you go. So right now it's the NFL kind of calling the shot. I think it's sad, truthfully, man, that the NFL is kind of manipulating this situation And they'll never admit to it. It'll come out probably 10 years from now that, it was collusion, it was this, it was that. They'll never admit to it. There are teams that clearly needed a starting quarterback or a young quarterback to groom that passed over him, for 3 rounds. Cleveland Browns for one, New York Giants, another team. The Raiders, the New Orleans Saints. Those are just teams that come to mind right away that probably could have benefited. Pittsburgh, that could use a young quarterback to kind of groom and get them prepared to lead their team over the next couple of years. So I think it's unfortunate, really, what's happening to Shadeur at this time, man. And it's nothing short of collusion by the league and the owners around the league to kind of humble the Sanders family and put them in their place. I think it's nonsense, because brash, cocky, and arrogant. You got players in the league that are brash, cocky, and arrogant right now. You know what I'm saying? And they're getting paid a lot of money. And owners know some of these players, without them, they wouldn't have the success or be able to make the money that they make. So the fact that he's brash, cocky, and arrogant, when I'm talking about Shadeur Sanders, and that you got to deal with Deion Sanders, it's just a cop-out in my opinion. But we're going to see what happens today. Round 4 starts this afternoon at some point, and we'll see if he goes. I'm kind of hearing that he may go to Pittsburgh in round 4. That's what my sources have told me. So we'll see. But what's y'all thoughts, man? What y'all think about this whole Shadeur Sanders? And please don't tell me that he's just not good enough and his talent. And please do a little better than that, because it's foolish. He's clearly talented, clearly one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in this draft, and he should have been off the board at the latest early in the second round yesterday. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow the Sports Mix.